The night shift when darkness reaches the Amazon. The forest does not become quiet. It becomes louder. The daytime chorus fades. Another orchestra takes its place. Frogs call from hidden pools. Insects vibrate through the darkness. Bats cross gaps in the canopy. And predators begin to move. The night belongs to those who can operate without light. One of them is the kinkajou, a small mammal related to raccoons, adapted for life in trees. Its tail can act like an extra limb. Its flexible body allows it to move through branches in search of fruit and nectar. It is mostly nocturnal, and it has an unusual relationship with flowers. While feeding on nectar, it can carry pollen between plants. A mammal becomes a pollinator. Another night specialist is the patu. During the day, it can resemble a broken branch so perfectly that predators may look directly at it without recognizing the bird. At night, its huge eyes become useful. It waits, it watches, then it launches after insects. The strategy is not speed, it is deception. The Amazon is full of creatures that survive by convincing others they are something else. The leaf insect looks like a leaf. The stick insect looks like a twig. The glass frog almost disappears against vegetation. The mimic octopus, though not an Amazonian species, reminds us how widespread the evolutionary strategy of imitation can be. But within the rainforest itself, deception reaches extraordinary levels. The owl butterfly carries markings resembling enormous eyes on its wings. When threatened, it suddenly opens them. A predator expecting a harmless insect may instead see what appears to be the face of something much larger. It is not magic, it is evolution, yet the effect can feel supernatural. Then there are the snakes. The Amazon is home to some of the world's most remarkable venomous reptiles. The bushmaster can grow to extraordinary lengths. Unlike many vipers, it lays eggs. It is secretive and rarely encountered. The fer-de-lance is more common in some regions. It is highly venomous and often relies on camouflage. Then there is the green anaconda, heavy rather than slender, built for water. Its eyes and nostrils sit high on its head, allowing it to remain almost completely submerged while monitoring the surroundings. The largest individuals can become enormous, although popular stories often exaggerate their size. And that is one of the problems with the Amazon. Reality is already so extreme that people often feel compelled to make it even stranger. Stories of snakes longer than buses, fish that eat entire people, trees that walk, plants that hunt humans. Most are myths, but some myths have roots in real observations. The Amazonian giant water lily, for example, looks almost impossible. Its leaves can grow to enormous sizes and float like green platforms. The underside contains a network of ribs and structures that provide support. Its flowers open at night. For a brief period, they may attract beetles that become trapped inside. The flower provides warmth and food. The beetles transfer pollen. Eventually, the flower releases them. A miniature ecological drama unfolds in a single night. Nearby, another hunter waits. The fishing spider? It can move across the surface of water. Some species can even dive beneath it. The boundary between land and water means little here. Animals cross it constantly. A frog becomes a fish hunter. A bird becomes a fisherman. A spider becomes a swimmer. And an insect becomes a predator. Then comes one of the strangest sounds of the night, a chorus of frogs. Each species has a different call. Some use deep booming sounds. Others produce rapid clicks. Some sound almost mechanical. The calls serve several purposes: finding mates, defending territory, warning rivals, and confusing predators. In the darkness, sound becomes visibility. An animal that cannot be seen can still announce itself, but calling carries a risk. Predators can hear it too. The Amazonian night is therefore a constant negotiation. Every sound may attract a mate, or a killer. Every movement may lead to food, or become someone else's food. And as the first hints of dawn begin to appear, the night creatures disappear. The forest changes again. The hunters retreat. The birds begin to sing. The cycle resets. Nothing has ended. It has only changed shifts. Colors of survival in the Amazon. Beauty can be dangerous. Bright colors are often warnings. Red, yellow, blue, orange. A flash of color may tell a predator, "Do not touch me." One of the best examples is the poison dart frog. Small enough to fit in the palm of a hand, some species display astonishing colors. Their appearance is not decoration. It is a warning signal. But there is a fascinating twist. The toxicity of some poison dart frogs is strongly influenced by their diet. In captivity, certain species may lose much or all of the toxins associated with their wild populations. The frog is not manufacturing the entire chemical arsenal alone. It is borrowing chemistry from the ecosystem. That idea appears again and again in the rainforest. Plants produce defensive compounds. Insects consume plants. Frogs consume insects. Predators consume frogs. Chemistry moves through the food chain. Another creature has turned color into a weapon of a different kind. The blue morpho butterfly. Its brilliant blue wings appear almost metallic, but the blue does not come from ordinary pigment. The microscopic structure of its wing scales interacts with light, creating structural coloration. When the butterfly moves, flashes of blue can suddenly appear and disappear. To a predator, the insect seems to vanish and reappear. The Amazon has evolved beauty that behaves like camouflage. Then there are the macaws. Scarlet, blue, gold, green. They gather in noisy groups and communicate over enormous distances. At clay licks, dozens or even hundreds may gather to consume mineral-rich soil. Why? Scientists believe the clay may provide minerals and help neutralize certain plant toxins. But the spectacle is extraordinary. A cliffside becomes a living wall of color. The birds arrive from different parts of the forest. They wait, they watch, then they descend together. For generations, indigenous peoples have observed these gatherings, and naturally, legends developed around them. In some stories, brightly colored birds are associated with the sun, fire, or ancestral spirits. The exact legends differ across cultures, but the pattern is familiar. The rainforest transforms animals into symbols. A bird is not simply a bird. It can represent the sky. A jaguar can represent power. A snake can represent transformation. A river can represent life itself. One of the most spectacular plants in this environment is the heliconia. Its brightly colored structures are not petals in the conventional sense. They are modified leaves called bracts. They create visual signals that attract pollinators. Hummingbirds are particularly important. They hover in place. Their wings beat so quickly that they seem almost stationary. Their long bills and tongues reach deep into flowers. And while feeding, they transfer pollen. The relationship is ancient. The bird gets energy. The plant gets reproduction. Both survive. The hummingbird itself lives at an astonishing metabolic pace. Flight requires enormous energy. Its heart can beat extremely rapidly. Its body must constantly balance energy intake with energy expenditure. At night, some hummingbirds enter torpor, dramatically lowering their metabolism to survive periods when food is unavailable. In a forest where sugar can mean survival, flowers become fuel stations, and the map of those flowers changes with the seasons. A hummingbird cannot simply wander randomly. It must remember where food is. This is another form of intelligence. Memory becomes survival. The same is true for monkeys. Spider monkeys travel through the canopy in flexible social groups. Individuals may separate and reunite depending on food availability. Their prehensile tails act almost like a fifth limb. They can hang from branches using the tail while reaching for fruit. Their world is three-dimensional. The ground is not the main road. The canopy is. Another monkey, the squirrel monkey, moves rapidly through branches in groups. It may look chaotic, but the group is constantly communicating. Calls, gestures, movements, warnings. The forest has its own social network. And sometimes, the smallest creatures have the most organized societies. Leafcutter ants form enormous colonies with specialized workers. Some cut leaves, some carry them, some clean the fungus gardens, some defend the nest, some care for larvae. The colony functions almost like a superorganism. No single ant understands the entire system, yet together, they create something far more complex than any individual could achieve. That may be one of the Amazon's deepest lessons. Intelligence does not always require a brain large enough to impress us. Sometimes intelligence emerges from cooperation. Millions of simple decisions can create an extraordinary result. And in the Amazon, cooperation is everywhere. Birds warn monkeys. Monkeys expose fruit. Fish disperse seeds. Insects pollinate flowers. Fungi connect plants. The forest is not a collection of isolated species. It is a network, and every color, sound, scent, and movement is part of the conversation. The people who read the forest long before satellites mapped the Amazon. People were already mapping it, not on paper, in memory. A river bend, a particular tree, a hill, a seasonal lagoon, a place where fish gather, a place where certain fruits ripen, a place where jaguars pass. For indigenous peoples of the Amazon, geography can be remembered through stories, songs, and generations of observation. One of the most remarkable examples is the knowledge of medicinal plants. The rainforest contains thousands of plant species with chemical compounds that can affect living organisms, but discovering which plants are useful is extraordinarily difficult. Indigenous knowledge has often provided a starting point for scientific research. Yet the relationship is complicated. Knowledge can be extracted without fair recognition or benefit sharing. The history of the Amazon contains many examples of outsiders taking resources without respecting the people who protected them. Today, indigenous territories are among the most important protected areas in the basin. The people living there are not simply observers of nature. They are part of its history. Consider the forest garden. A small clearing may contain dozens of useful plants growing together. Cassava, bananas, medicinal herbs, fruit trees, plants for construction, plants for fiber. It may appear messy compared with industrial agriculture, but complexity is the point. Different plants occupy different ecological niches. Some tolerate shade, others require sunlight. Some produce quickly, others take years. The garden becomes a living portfolio of food and knowledge. In the Ecuadorian Amazon, the Waorani have developed deep knowledge of their environment. Their traditional territory contains rivers, forests, and extraordinary biodiversity. Their survival historically depended on knowing where resources were and how seasonal changes altered the landscape. A forest hunter does not simply look for an animal. He reads footprints, broken branches, bird behavior, freshly disturbed soil, a sudden silence. The absence of a sound can be as important as the presence of one. This is knowledge that cannot easily be written into a textbook. It must be experienced. The forest also contains plants that humans have learned to transform. Cassava is one example. Some varieties contain cyanogenic compounds and must be processed correctly before consumption. Indigenous communities developed methods of grating, pressing, washing, fermenting, and cooking cassava to make it safe. This is an extraordinary example of traditional food technology. The plant is potentially dangerous. The knowledge makes it food. Another example is curare. Certain indigenous peoples developed plant-based mixtures, used historically on blowgun darts for hunting. The chemistry affects muscles and movement. Modern medicine later became interested in related compounds, because substances affecting neuromuscular transmission can have medical applications. But the rainforest did not invent medicine in a human sense. Rather, humans living within it spent generations learning which plants did what. The forest became a pharmacy, but it was a pharmacy without labels. Knowledge was the label. The Amazon also contains some of the most unusual fishing traditions in the world. In shallow waters, people can use knowledge of currents, fish behavior, seasons, and plant chemistry. Some traditional fishing methods involve plant substances that temporarily affect fish, allowing them to be collected more easily. The techniques vary greatly between communities. The important point is that survival depends on understanding the ecosystem, rather than overpowering it. This philosophy appears in countless stories. One Amazonian myth tells of a time when animals and humans were not as separate as they are today. In different traditions, humans may have learned fire, hunting, or agriculture from animals or supernatural beings. These stories are not scientific explanations, but they preserve cultural ideas about responsibility. The forest gives, therefore humans must give back. Take too much, and the relationship becomes broken. Modern ecology describes something similar in different language. Remove too many predators, and prey populations change. Remove pollinators, and plants struggle. Remove large seed-dispersing animals, and forests can change composition. Remove trees, and water cycles change. The system remembers. The Amazon may appear infinitely large. It is not. Every ecosystem has thresholds, and when those thresholds are crossed, recovery becomes harder. Yet people continue to adapt. Communities protect forests. Scientists monitor biodiversity. Rangers patrol protected areas. Indigenous organizations use satellite imagery to detect illegal clearing. Ancient knowledge and modern technology are increasingly meeting in the same landscape. A hunter carrying a traditional canoe may now live in a world where satellites pass overhead. Every 90 minutes. The tools have changed. The forest has not. It still demands attention, still demands patience, still rewards those who understand its rhythms, and still punishes those who assume they already know everything.